After posturing himself as a rare conservative opposed to forever wars, JD Vance now finds himself in a pickle. He could publicly break with Trump over the war with Iran or quietly lurk in the corner. But one conservative media figure thinks that Vance should take it even further and invoke the 25th Amendment to remove Donald Trump. Jank, we've got more, but do you think that's even possible? Do you think that'll happen?
So I don't think that this glass is tall enough. I need a taller glass of shut up juice for JD Vance. If he doesn't publicly say something about how deeply he objects to the Iran war right now. If he's gonna come during the election and tell us, oh, secretly I was against the war as I helped the war go further and further in, and ground troops went in and they got slaughtered. But secretly I was against it. Yeah, that crap's not gonna fly, okay? Go tell that to stupid people. But I got a lot more where that came from and why they're doing this strategy right now. Jordan, give us the facts first.
Well, with all of this as a backdrop, one of Vance's advisors on the Middle East, Wesam Hassanein, just resigned. Bloomberg Government reported that his exit from Vance's team on Monday. His departure comes as Operation Epic Fury enters its 4th week, and as questions loom about how enthusiastic Vance has been about the operation, with Politico reporting earlier this month that the vice president was, quote, skeptical about military strikes. That Politico report stated Vance, who has long questioned US intervention abroad, has publicly defended Trump's Iran operation. But White House officials revealed that the vice president made his opposition known in the lead up, pulling the curtain open after months of speculation about Vance being far more tepid about military action than Trump. Vance is, quote, skeptical, is, quote, worried about success, and just opposes the war on Iran, a senior Trump official said via text message. The official was granted anonymity to speak about the vice president's views. This wouldn't be the first time that Vance privately expressed doubt about Trump's foreign policy decisions. In March of 2025, when the Trump administration was attacking the Houthis in Yemen, Jeffrey Goldberg of The Atlantic was added to a signal group accidentally by now Ambassador to the UN, Michael Walls. In that group chat, Vance blasted the strikes as a, quote, mistake, and added, I'm not sure the president is aware how inconsistent this is with his message on Europe right now. There's a further risk that we see a moderate to severe spike in oil prices. I'm willing to support the consensus of the team and keep these concerns to myself. But there's a strong argument for delaying this a month, doing the messaging work on why this matters, seeing where the economy is, etc. Now, as the war with Iran enters its 4th week, the co-founder of the American Conservative is publicly calling for Trump's removal from office. Scott McConnell here posted on X, my advice to Vance, announce your support of 25th Amendment transition, say Chris Murphy or similar will be Veep. Announce you will not be a candidate in 2028. Use your position, access to the media to explain why this is necessary. Don't resign. Unsurprisingly, his followers were baffled by this suggestion, perhaps in part because he co-founded the outlet that published this piece that we covered 2 years ago, arguing that Trump should serve a 3rd term. Jank, what do you make of this?
Yeah, I have a different theory on the American Conservative. I'll do that one first real quick. Look, I don't know about them in particular in this particular writer, but I do know that the donors like stability, right? One of the reasons that Israel preferred Ron DeSantis during the primaries in this cycle, and you could tell by who AIPAC's giving money to, the Israeli lobby's giving money to in the primaries. Once Trump wins, then they load up on him in the general election anyway to cover their bases. But guys like Ron DeSantis and Marco Rubio are more predictable. So you bribe them, they stay bribed, they don't have an independent judgment, they're not wild, erratic characters like Donald Trump. So one of the reasons why some on the right might want to get rid of Donald Trump is, well, look, we got the nice orange buffoon to start the war for us. But you never know, maybe he'll get rattled and want to pull out, and Israel has not given permission to pull out yet. So maybe we replace him with a more reliable robot, right? And that might be JD Vance. So now, wait a minute, how does that make sense? JD Vance, according to these stories, appears opposed to some of Israel's wars. There's no chance that's true. There was a huge story when the war began that explained how Trump got pushed into the war. And there was a critical moment when he asked JD Vance, and JD Vance actually said to him, according to that story, go big and go fast. He talked Trump out of smaller, limited strikes against Iran and instead talked him into a full-scale war. So which one is it, JD? When he thought the war was going well, leak. Oh, I'm totally in favor of this war. I was the hero who said go big and fast. War is going poorly. Oh, remember, leak. I am against the war. I am the true America first. Hold on, Benjamin, I'll get back to you in a second. Ben, come here, you crazy dog, we'll be drinking. Yes, oh, I am against the Israelis and the war. You can trust me. Well, connected source my ass. It's probably literally JD Vance, but it's calling these reporters. But it doesn't matter who it is in his office. Bottom line is he's a giant liar. He's not at all against this war. But you could tell one thing from this news story, which is the war is not going well because the rats are trying to leave the ship, Jordan.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. I mean, we're going to see some weird posturing, especially after the midterms as they start to gear up for 2028. I don't think Vance is going to be able to shake this. We saw how Gaza really plagued Harris in that election. It didn't help her that she refused to break from Biden. And now, like, you can plainly see.
You know, when you're building something from the ground up, the to-do list never ends. When I started TYT, it wasn't just what if no one watches? It was also, how am I supposed to handle the business side while also creating a show? That's really hard. In those moments, you realize you can't do it alone. You need a real partner. For us, that partner for our Shop TYT store is Shopify. And honestly, I wish I had something like that from day one. They've been a terrific partner for us. Shopify is the commerce platform behind 10% of all e-commerce in the US. That's amazing. And it's built to tackle every single one of those worries that keep you up at night. What if you run out of ideas for your product pages? They've packed the platform with helpful AI tools. You can generate product descriptions, write page headlines, or even enhance your photography with just a few clicks. And my picture needs to be enhanced. It's like having a creative director in your pocket. And of course, what if people get to checkout and change their minds because they have to enter all that information? That's the worst, but Shopify has that iconic purple shop pay button. It's faster, it's trusted, and it's why they have the best converting checkout on the planet. Fewer abandoned carts means more sales actually going through to you. It's time to turn those what ifs into with Shopify today. Sign up for your $1 per month trial today at shopify.com/TYT. Go to shopify.com/TYT. That's shopify.com/TYT.
It's a difficult spot to be in, and you're trying to play to both crowds. She was cowardly, Vance is cowardly. He's not going to do that either. Also because unless something happens, Trump will be around to weigh in, to throw his support behind a 2028 nominee or candidate. Maybe they go with a coronation and just try to do what folks did with Biden and just say, nope, this is our nominee. We're not having an open primary. Maybe. But if Donald Trump is still alive, he's going to want, Vance will want his endorsement. So publicly breaking with him over what will be a major piece of Trump's second term, it wouldn't help in that regard. So this will dog him, and all of the allies in the kind of manosphere, independent media world that JD Vance had sought to ingratiate himself with, they're not going to be on his side. They're all opposed to this.
Yeah. So last couple of things here, because we don't have to worry about any of this. So I'll tell you why in a second. But first, let's give JD Vance the benefit of the doubt for 1 second. Okay. Say that he was privately against the war. Does it count if he's thinking it in his head, but never actually saying it to the president, never saying it publicly, never actually trying to stop the war? No, of course it doesn't count. Why do I care what weirdo private thoughts are in your head if you're not doing anything about it? So trying to get credit for that is super cheesy, next level cheesy. Secondly, well, if you're such a great statesman and you were so against the Iran war, then why don't you convince Trump not to go into the war? Why don't you convince him now to leave the war? Why don't you convince him to use Israeli troops instead of our ground troops? Why don't you convince him to use Israel's $200 billion instead of our $200 billion? Oh, you're an utter failure, right? You're a complete loser who can't get a single objective accomplished as vice president. Because you can't have it both ways. There's no question, either you're a giant liar working for Israel or you're a useless hack who can't get anything done inside the White House. There is no option C. So finally, the reason why none of this matters, Jordan, is because, look, maybe I'm past my skis here and I've made these predictions before and they've come true, and so I'll do another one for you. And then people can call me crazy, and then let's see how it turns out, okay? I think the first candidate who doesn't grovel to Israel wins each primary easily, okay? And if there's only one candidate who doesn't grovel to Israel, then they win the presidency super easy. If these idiots in Washington think they can still pull off the same tricks and go in there and go, oh, Israel, I love you, I'll do everything for you. Oh no, but I sent them a strongly worded letter to like slaughter only half the Palestinians. Now, of course, I sent all of your paychecks over to them and I started 7 more wars for them. But you know what, but Israel, beloved Israel, but vote for me. That's not gonna fly at all. You're gonna get slaughtered in the Republican primary, you're gonna get, I hope to God you get slaughtered politically in the Democratic primary. So go ahead, ass kissers. Get out there and be loud and proud. Smooch for Israel so we can eliminate you from the ability to be president in 2028. And by the way, don't worry though, I'm sure my predictions are all crazy and wrong. So go out there and kiss Israeli ass and ignore me and say, yeah, but Jake, you don't understand. I got millions from AIPAC, that's gonna help me win. Go ahead, do it. Don't listen. Of course I don't know what I'm talking about. Keep groveling, get on your knees, get all the way on the ground, lie flat for Israel, and see how it turns out for you in 2028. Oh, by the way, if you're not doing that, you're secretly against Israel, you should do it really privately and whisper it to yourself, because I bet that counts later. All right. Okay, we gotta go. By the way, so far in the race, potentially in the race, is there a single candidate that has said no more money to Israel, and I'll stand up to Israel, no wars for them? So far, only one, Ro Khanna. And that's why the media is like, Ro Khanna, no. It has to be somebody totally establishment. He's an outsider, has very little chance. Yeah, my ass. Let's see how it turns out. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.